Hey guys, this is Dave with Gazaudio. Today we're going to be checking out Hiby's latest mini digital audio player, the R3 Generation 2. And it wasn't long ago that I had reviewed the R3 Pro Sabre 2022 version. I got a lot of use out of that. I thought it was a wonderful player. So now we have the R3II. We have a lot to cover, so let's get into this. So it's no secret that I like Hiby products. As a matter of fact, some of my current favorite devices are Hiby devices. The FC6 is my current favorite USB DAC. The R6 Pro 2 is one of my most used DAPs. I also reviewed the R3 Pro Sabre 2022 version not long ago, and that was a really solid device as well. So Hiby has put out some great stuff, and the R3 Gen 2 is no exception. And if there's anything that Hiby knows how to do and do well, is make a compact, feature-packed, affordable device. But more importantly, they use high-quality components that give you really good sound, and that describes the R3II in a nutshell. And I am going to try to cover as much of that as I can. But first, let's go over what's included in the box. We'll go over the specifications, features, and then we'll get into the sound. Included in the box is the DAP itself. It also comes with a clear case, a Type A to Type C USB cable, and an extra screen protector. Externally, the R3II has a 3.2-inch color touch display. On the right side of the device, it has a physical volume wheel. The original R3 had buttons. It also has playback controls. On the left side, there's a micro SD slot. On the bottom, a 4.4 balanced output, a 3.5 single-ended output, and then finally, a Type C input. As far as the price, specifications, and design, the R3II comes in at $179. It has a dual ES9219C DAC configuration and decodes up to 32-bit PCM and DSD256. It also gives you a good amount of power out of both outputs. The 4.4 gives you 380 milliwatts of power, while the 3.5 gives you 112. So that's definitely enough output to power any IM, and probably enough to power most full-size headphones up to some pretty decent volume levels. It has a built-in 2000 milliamp battery that should give you about 15 hours of playback time. It also gives you your basic wireless connections, including Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5.1. And the Bluetooth has a two-way function and operates as both a receiver and a transmitter. So you can send a Bluetooth signal from the R3II and also to it. It has DLNA and AirPlay capabilities, so you can access your music server via Wi-Fi. But it can also function as a wired DAC as well. So if you want to feed music from your PC or any other USB device, you can put the R3II into DAC mode and access your other music libraries that way as well. And then you can also connect your phone or tablet using the Hiby Link feature. So like I said in my intro, if there's anything Hiby is good at, it's making a very versatile device at relatively affordable prices. But the features don't stop there. The Hiby OS also gives you access to all of your basic playback features, including Hiby's own Hiby Music app that allows you to access the music content on your micro SD card. You can also even access multiple streaming platforms and stream music directly to the R3 Pro using Tidal or Qobuz. All you need to do is connect the device to your Tidal or Qobuz account. As for sound tweaks, Hiby's MSEB feature allows you to modify and save multiple sound profiles, so not only can you make basic EQ adjustments, you can also fine-tune and make much more subtle adjustments to the R3II's overall temperature, bass extension, bass texture, note thickness, and more. And then of course, you can also access your basic gain settings as well. Okay, let's move on to the sound. So obviously, the R3II allows you to make a ton of tweaks to its sound as to fit your preference. And I have messed with Hiby's MSEB feature a ton on their devices, including this one. But for my review purposes, I did leave the MSEB settings alone, so my sound impressions are of the R3II in its stock mode. That being said, if you do pick this device up and you like to tweak stuff, then I definitely encourage you to do so, because what's great about the MSEB settings is you can make either subtle or fairly significant changes to the sound of the R3 Pro without really affecting the quality of the sound. So I think that's pretty cool. And just to remind viewers, the things I look for in any source device are its linearity and transparency, its dynamic ability, detail levels, and I also test the background noise levels. But as far as the sound of the R3II in its stock mode right out of the box, it's pretty linear and uncolored, so there isn't very much emphasis on any part of the sound signature, which is good. So that fairly linear presentation means that it's going to allow your IEMs or headphones to maintain their own signature. It's not going to add any coloration or tint to their presentation. And that does kind of tie into its transparency as well. And of course, we are talking about a device that is under $200, so we're not expecting perfection or flagship level performance here, but it's very good at this price point. Now, as far as dynamics, it is on the more subtle side. I think they were going more for accuracy as opposed to engagement, like the presentation of the BTR7, which actually uses the same dual ES9219C DAC chips. However, it uses the THX AAA28 amp chips, which I actually attribute its dynamic presentation to. And I actually do kind of prefer that dynamic presentation that the BTR7 offers over the R3 Pro 2. And that's the reason the BTR7 has been a favorite of mine for some time. But this is fine too. It just depends on your preference, and it also, of course, depends on the goal of the manufacturer. Now, as for detail levels, it's very good for the price. And I would even say it's right up there with the BTR7, but not quite the levels of like the Moonriver 2 Ti. And as far as background noise levels, of course, I tested it with my 2020 Andromedas, and I wasn't able to detect any noise at all, which would make sense given its signal to noise ratio is 119 dB. So it's a very quiet device. Now, as far as where I feel the R3II lands in terms of its overall value and performance, it's automatically a good value at this price, in my opinion, simply because of its versatility. And then when you factor in its power output and the other specifications like the signal to noise ratio, the dynamic range, and then considering that its sound performance is pushing very close to some of my top devices around $200, it really makes this a no-brainer in my opinion. The only other mini or micro DAP that I'm aware of that I might consider as a better value would be the Channeling MO Pro, because that's a pretty great little device. And of course, also the original R3 Saber is a good value as well, but that was $199. Although I think right now you can get it on sale for $179. But if you're going to spend the money, I would just get the newer version. But again, I will say the R3 Saber at the $179 price is pretty awesome as well. But the bottom line is the R3II is an excellent value considering everything you get for $179. Not only is it a fully functioning DAP with multi-platform streaming capabilities, DLNA, and two-way Bluetooth functionality, it also provides a ton of sound customization and the convenience of portability. But more importantly, it sounds really good, especially with IEMs. And you get all of that for under $200, which is pretty awesome. So that concludes my review of the Hiby R3II. If you're new to the Gizaudio channel and you like our videos, please take a minute and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to go a step further, you can also support us through our Patreon. I'll be sure and leave a link in the description. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this review. Please like this video. Please share this video. I hope you have an awesome day.